My name's James Robbins. I'm the CIO for Northumbrian Water Group. I think the role of CIO is certainly becoming more about the business leader. If you're part of a leadership team in an organisation, they don't really want to hear about data centres and bits and bytes or service-orientated architecture. They want to hear about how you're going to help the business to win, whether that's about being industry leading, or whether that's about creating customer service, or whether it's about creating profitability. They want to hear in the boardroom, your peers want to hear you talking about that really, rather than technology led investment. I think you have to be a leader, you have to be a people person, you have to have a great deal of humility. I think IT is all encompassing. Your peers in the boardroom will want to lead initiatives, whether it's for us, whether it's about new technology in the field or stuff that goes in the pipes to monitor water flow, or a new billing platform. It's really core to what the business does. So you need to be able to step back and lead from the back at certain times. So I think all of those attributes are really key. My biggest achievement has been getting to be CIO at Northumbrian Water. The reason I would pick that is because it's what I call a proper CIO. I'm a member of the management team, I'm a member of the leadership team. So I've been a head of IS reporting to an FD or reporting to one of the directors of a company in 2 or 3 different organisations. I've probably got over 10 years experience in terms of leading the IT function. But being a proper CIO, being a business leader is quite a glass ceiling for many. So I think getting to that stage of my career, perhaps earlier than many of my peers, is probably the achievement that I'm most proud of. Within our industry, we're about to go through quite a bit of transformation. So for business-to-business customers in the water sector, there's going to be competition from April 2017. So that's quite a challenge, because we need to create a business that will go and compete or sell water to businesses. We need to adapt all of our sort of monopoly side wholesale systems to be able to work with multiple retailers in that space. And I'm also helping the industry to set up a market operating system in the centre. So we've got 3 billing systems, if you like, being implemented over the next 2 years. So that's going to be quite a challenge in terms of resources and time and intellect, I think, for us to be able to get that right as an industry. I think it would be to try and get outside of the technology and to think about business. So probably doing my MBA was quite useful in terms of thinking about that, and moved me away from, had a master's in computing and an IT degree. Starting to think about stuff from a different perspective was really helpful, and thinking about the leadership aspect really strongly more than the technology. I think it's important to have a passion for technology, but thinking more about what's going on within an organisational context is probably the thing for me that helps me distinguish myself from another IT manager. Be prepared to be flexible, do what you enjoy, have a balanced life, but if you can get the opportunity to move around and experience different organisations, different industries, different contexts, then I think you'll get experience faster. And if you're that passionate about having a career, then that's probably a sensible thing to do. And don't be afraid to make sacrifices, whether that's around personal circumstances, whether you've got to move the length of the country, or whether it's about taking a pay cut in order to get a different experience. I think in the long run you get a richer career. But all of that's got to be done within balance and in a space where you're happy and comfortable with your whole life, rather than just your career. I think the recruitment's really hard. I think if you get a 1 in 2 success rate, you're doing really, really well. I don't know if there's a magic bullet to solve it. We've got a number of partnerships. We try to think about culture, attitude, behaviour and fit with our organisation's identity and what we're trying to achieve, rather than necessarily going down a tick list of skills. That's quite hard, because I think in interviews quite a false environment. But then how do you create how do you create that realistic, right environment? Certainly for critical appointments, tends to be people you've worked with before in a different contexts. But perhaps going to a reference first, or going to see people's current working environment might be a better way of doing it. But it's incredibly tough. I don't think I've got all the answers, I'm afraid, in that space. There's a huge number of them right now. I don't know how many of my contacts on LinkedIn are trying to kind of push services my way or tap me up for a role somewhere, but it just feels like there's this incredible number, and how do you sort the good ones from the bad? I've got a few where I've got long-term relationships with, but some of the feedback that I've got is just they're just IT clubs, and I think IT is such an integral part of a business now. You need a sort of a greater wealth of understanding about what's going on. So working with a recruitment agency that recruits all types of skill and works with CFO, CEO as well as CIO probably creates a better balance, and is probably a better way to go, rather than just a bespoke IT agency, particularly for leadership positions, I would say. There's often quite a bit of talent within your organisation already, but it's just not in the IT function, particularly on data and data scientists or analysts. People who understand your organisation or your industry context are often hugely valuable, and they can pick up some of the more generic IT skills, whether that's coding or an ITIL methodology or Prince2 or whatever it is. There is probably some untapped talent within your organisation, so rather than going straight to the agency, it might be better off thinking about how you can work with the HR department to figure out how you unlock that, or how you identify that talent within your organisation, and perhaps that's something we could look to improve recruitment or talent management within the organisation.